Good morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Menachem Creditor. It's my honor to serve as scholar in residence and rabbi for UJA Federation of New York. We bring you Torah and music, blessing, and community every weekday. We've been doing so since March 18th, 2020. Today it is October 19th, 2023. It's been a privilege, a humbling privilege to be part of our community that created itself 3.5 years ago so that we could find each other across the distance, to know that we had each other when all we could do was hope. And what a gift it has been to be part of this community with all of you, to find each other every morning, to give each other strength, to pray for our people in these very hard days, and to know that we do so with friends from all over the world. And so to my son Moshe, who's here, to Lisa and Debbie and Linda, who are on Facebook with me. I'm also on Instagram Live. Dove, sending you strength and love. Shari and Barry, Ron, Jacqueline, good morning, friends. Tomorrow we are going to get ready for Shabbat, and it is a different kind of day. But what we do as a constant, as we say, Am Yisrael Chai, we show up. This is our 908th broadcast together, and we will never cease finding each other, praying for what matters, knowing that we have each other's hearts in our hands and that we are united all over the world. There are a bunch of people here and a bunch of people there, and I ask you to send our hearts to everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Penny, thank you for reminding us it's broadcast 908. Minna, I'm glad that you just heard from your friends in Israel. They are well. I spoke to my sister in Tel Aviv. Well is a complicated word. They are physically safe. But my nieces are taking turns holding each other in the miklat, in the bomb shelter, every time there's an alarm, of which there's only been one today, but what a weird thing to say, there's only been one rocket alert so far in Tel Aviv, which is not to say the countless ones that have been happening near the Gaza envelope, including other friends of mine who are somewhere nearby. Friends, I know that we have all of our loved ones and our whole people in our hearts. Let's make sure that we take a moment and we breathe. We're going to start this day and do incredibly important work together. Sarah, thank you for being with us in San Francisco. It is powerful to know that we have each other from all of these places. Raf, so good to see you here. You and Moshe are here right now. All right, friends, let's take a breath, sing a blessing. We are going to learn some Torah, and then we're going to pray. We are going to pray. And Cassandra, happy late birthday. Take a breath, everybody. Here we go. לעסוק בדברי תורה, לעסוק בדברי תורה, הפוך בה והפוך בה, לעסוק בדברי תורה. Today I today Good morning, friends. Let's make it a good morning by sharing each other's moments, honesties, hearts, vulnerabilities. Wendy, you say you need this today. Trust me, I do too. There's a lot to say, but what I don't want to do in this moment is amplify headlines. You and I am sure, are paying attention to the headlines, praying for the now 203 people who Israel has confirmed are still being held hostage. I hope that some of you will show up today in Times Square at 6 o'clock, where the JCRC of New York and many other organizations are demanding the release of hundreds of hostages. There's a big rally in Times Square, every point at Broadway Pedestrian Plaza between 46th and 47th today at 6 p.m. Please be there. Also, friends, there's a birthday we are celebrating, and tomorrow my family celebrates our youngest's bar mitzvah. If you feel so moved, and if you want to say Mazel Tov, I'll ask you to say Mazel Tov in the form of making a gift to UJA. I have never been prouder or more humbled to be part of this holy work, and I have been proud and humbled many times. But to see our community show up with robust strength, with friendship, with love, and yes, all that vulnerability that each one of us is feeling. So please, please, friends, make a gift. Say how present you are with this community. We have to date raised over $85 million. Our QR code to the donate page has been everywhere in the media, including major platforms spanning the political spectrum. We have been involved in distributing $26 million of support on the ground faster than any other American organization and at a greater capacity than any other American Jewish organization. We have united our community, worked with our elected officials, and right now, our CEO, Eric Goldstein, went back to Israel with the governor of New York and with our president, Linda Morels, sitting with the Israel Trauma Coalition and survivors of the Kfar Aza massacre. That's not the Torah we're going to share. That's only to remind you that the Torah we share is in service of the world, is in service of our people. We are aware of our necessity in the world, and we are fulfilling it. We know it won't be enough. It'll never be enough to bring back our 1,400 sisters and brothers whose lives were taken by terrorists. It will never be enough to counter the lies that will continue to be spread by others. We have to do it, though. We have to show up and work to counter all the misinformation so that we can not only champion the immediate needs of our people, but work in the strategic interests of our family. To see President Joe Biden go to Israel to say the three Hebrew words, Am Yisrael Chai, was unprecedented for the Jewish people. That an American president during a time of war would go to Israel just to say, Am Yisrael Chai. It doesn't bring our lost ones back. But boy, does it matter. Boy, should it be a comfort. Boy, should it be there in your heart alongside all the grief. At least it's there in mine. Let's learn a little bit of Torah. Let's see what we can do to ground ourselves in a day. And yes, I will connect it to what's going on in the world. But I think Torah is a necessity right now too, to give us our hearts back as much as it can. Not completely, but a little bit. So, this week we read Parshat Noach. And boy, is the world in a destroyed place in the Parsha. And when the waters recede, and they will recede, I'm saying this to you about our moment, not because I'm feeling so calm, not because I'm feeling healed, not because there are any answers, but because actually the waters receded. It took 380 days if you do your math in the Torah. It's a long time. The flood lasts a long time. But eventually it does recede and a rainbow appears in the sky. And the rainbow reminds us, as a lot of neuropsychologists will too, that when your trauma is triggered, and I'm speaking to me, not just you, when your trauma is triggered, friends, what you do to help yourself get out of it is you do a little bit of math. And also, someone should ask you, or you should remember to ask yourself, what colors do you see? The rainbow in the sky is full of colors, and I don't see it yet. But that doesn't mean it's not there. It means that we have to remind ourselves through our trauma, which we as Jews through our history have known well, that one day there will be color. You'll see it again. The waters will recede. I know that that sounds like the most basic of lessons from this parsha, that there was a flood and it ended, but maybe I'm just speaking to myself, but I don't think so. It's really important to know that the Torah is not only telling us how things happened, a record of history, as if that's what we need. What we really need is to know how to live as things happen. The Torah's message about the flood is not there to tell us that there was a flood. You can use archaeology, and other people told that story too. But the difference between the way the ancient Near East and its other sacred texts tells the flood story, because there are parallels, including a very famous one called the Epic of Gilgamesh. The way that the story is told in the others' traditions is that humanity was created and we were noisy, and it annoyed the gods. So the gods sent a flood, and there was a flood hero and an ark in their story too. But why was there a flood in the Epic of Gilgamesh? Because the gods found humanity annoying. The Torah has always been a response to the world. The Torah story about Noah is a response to that story, because our God, and God's divine concern and love. Why was there a flood? Which you and I can have some very, very big conversations about. A commensurate punishment, the complicated nature of things. What is really important about our Torah's response to the Epic of Gilgamesh is that our God, our Torah, our message is that what disappoints God to God's heart so much that God even regretted creating humanity is that we were cruel. Cruelty has no place. Not in our world. And God's divine concern has to be our own too. We have to, in the face of it all, start by being kind. We also have to start by defending ourselves. And so in the name of our sisters and brothers in Israel, let me just push you to be kind to yourself and kind to someone else, and to act in the best interests of our world, beginning, of course, with our family. So I invite you, friends, just as I'm doing, to place your hand on your heart and just take care of yourself. Breathe a little bit. Ask yourself right now, what colors do you see? I'm looking out my window. I see trees. They're green. And I see a house. It's red. I see the sky. It's blue. And I see all of you here. I feel like there's a community, both on Instagram and on Facebook and elsewhere. We are all present, united in heart. So what I'd like to do before we say goodbye for now is pray a little bit with me. I know not everyone prays the same way, and now not everyone thinks about God the same way, but pray a little bit with me. This is a song that my father-in-law wrote as a lullaby for my wife when she was little. If you know it, sing. And since we're using Instagram Live and Facebook Live, if you don't know it, sing. It'll be fine. This is called B'Shem Hashem. It's for angels all around. To my right is the incomparable angel, the angel of uniqueness. To my left is Gabriel, the angel of strength, which I know we could use more of. In front of me is Uriel, the angel of light. And behind me is Raphael, the angel of healing. Va'al Roshi, and right above my head, right here, is Shechinat El, is God's presence. I don't use this song as a description, I use it as a prayer. Angels surround us. Angels take care of those who are still in harm's way. Angels, go take care of those held as hostage right now. Angels, take care of the caregivers. Support those who are, yes, raising necessary funds for our sisters and brothers in Israel. Take care of paramedics in Israel. Take care of trauma counselors. Take care of parents. Take care of children. Take care of our elders. These aren't normal times. So we have to double down on our hearts and make sure that they are pumping with love and care and concern. So even before I sing this, I'll ask you, what do you need today, friends? So that we can get through this, let me ask you, what do you need today? Take a nap if you need it. Eat something good for you. Be kind. Recognize that trauma makes us less patient, so just know that. See if knowing it can help. B'Shem Hashem, friends, sing with me. B'Shem Hashem Elohei Yisrael Minyini Michael Umismoli Gariel Umilfanai Uriel Umeachorai Raphael Be'aroshi Shechinadel Ay Didi ay Didi And before we go, friends, before we go, famous poets have said often, at least Jewish poets have said, that I might be in the ends of in the west, but my heart is in the east. Rav Nachman of Braslov says, "B'chol makom shani olech, ani olech le'eretz Yisrael." Everywhere I go, I'm walking in Israel. So there's a flag on your screen. Right now there's a flag in my heart. And just to say the obvious, that's not blind nationalism, that's Jewish unity. There's grief here. There's love here. There's pain here. And there is hope. Because, as I've taught many times in this last 12-day period, which has lasted 300 years so far, sadness might not be a choice, but hopelessness is a sin. We are called, friends, we are called to choose hope. As the great Viktor Frankl, a survivor of the Shoah, taught and wrote, between stimulus and response, there is a pause. And in the pause, there is a choice. And in that choice is our freedom. Stimulus and response. Something happened to us. How will we respond? In that choice that we get to make when we remember to pause, we retain our hearts, we retain our freedom, liot am chovshi be'artzenu, to be a free people in our land, which we are and always will be. So friends, let's sing Hatikva as we close today's broadcast. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Am Yisrael Chai. Kol od balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulfatei mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia Od lo תקוותנו, התקווה בת שנות 2000, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון ירושלים. להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, friends.